It has been nearly 5 months since finishing the fastest known time on the Appalachian Trail, right? Yeah, October, November, December, January, February. 5 months since finishing the fastest known time on the Appalachian Trail. For those that don't know, my name is Tara Dower and I am a professional ultramarathon athlete. More than ultramarathons, trail, mountain, just adventures in the mountains. I'm a professional athlete and thru hiker. And I've recently, as of 5 months ago, completed the Appalachian Trail in 40 days, 18 months. What? What's going on with my brain today? 40 days, 18 hours, and 6 minutes, which is the fastest time ever recorded for a completion of the trail end to end. Today, I wanted to share with y'all 3 of my favorite gear products I use along the trail, while also mentioning some runners up as well. I have a lot of pieces of gear I just absolutely loved out there. Some of you have been watching me since literally the beginning when I was preparing for a thru hike in 2019. There's been a slew of different types of content. There's been vlogs and there's been research projects, more vlogs. But I wanted to ask you guys what videos you guys would be interested in for 2025. I want to know what you guys want to see, so let me know in the comments what you're interested in watching from me in 2025. I also want to ask you guys, as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications. It only takes a click on y'all's end to help and encourage creators like me. As always, thank you for the support. I also have one more thing. I promise this is the last thing before we get into the pieces of gear. I started a podcast. I started a podcast with my friend Arlie, who's also a thru hiker of the Appalachian Trail, and they also do a lot of different types of ultramarathons and adventures in the mountains. They live in Vermont. But we started a podcast called DNF Diaries. What DNF means, it's did not finish. And essentially, we have people write into us and tell us their stories of not finishing an ultramarathon, a thru hike, an FKT. We tell the story to each other and we use like a little bit of a comedic twist to it. So you can find DNF Diaries anywhere that you find podcasts. This piece of gear was a recommendation from my old coach and mentor, Carl Meltzer. A lot of you probably know who Carl is. He set a FKT on the Appalachian Trail in 2016. So I relied heavily on mentors and the experience of past Appalachian Trail FKTers or crew from past FKTs. And during Carl's successful AT-FKT, in 2016, I think, he drank a protein drink at every crew spot, and he recommended I do the same. And coming from the Mountains to Sea Trail, I did a vlog-ish series on that, and you can watch that. I'll tag it somewhere up here. And for those who have already watched it, you probably know I was disintegrating in front of your eyes because I was not fueling my body properly. So I was comfortable taking any sort of advice. Whatever I had in mind, I knew wasn't going to work. I needed to rely heavily on the people who have already done this FKT. So I asked him, like, what do you use? So he connected me with the people at First Endurance, and I started training with their product at the beginning of the year. So I think that was like February when I started training with it and had started the FKT in August. So I had plenty of experience with this product. So when I started, I didn't really give my crew a lot of like nutrition guidelines. The only thing I said was 500 calories for breakfast, 300 calories an hour while I'm hiking, and then 1,500 calories for dinner. And then other than that, I want to take a Ultragen protein drink at every crew spot. So I drink about 6 to 7 of these a day. If we're just looking at the nutrition facts here, Ultragen has 20 grams of protein, 4.5 grams of BCAAs, 60 grams of carbs, 320 calories per 18-ounce serving. That's a lot. Oh my gosh. That comes out to around 140 grams of protein, 420 grams of carbs, 2,240 calories, and just Ultragen during the day. So you might think that's overkill, but honestly, I felt amazing taking this Of course, like drinking a protein drink so quickly while you're moving isn't comfortable, but once it got settled, I felt amazing. So I recommend anyone who's doing a long FKT to consider, taking a lot of a protein drink, but in my opinion, specifically Ultragen, training with it before, obviously. I felt like it helped accelerate necessary recovery while rebuilding and refueling my absolutely tired muscles. The Coros Vertex is my second favorite piece of gear that I used out on the Appalachian Trail. And I began training with this before Hard Rock 100. And some key features that I appreciate about it, especially from a long distance FKT perspective, is its long battery life, the durability, and the accurate location data. The incredible battery life lasts 118 hours of continuous GPS use, and then 36 days of continuous daily use. So not on a GPS mode, which is incredible. In my opinion, this is the most durable watch that Coros makes. I've had a lot of different Coros watches, and the Vertex is definitely the most durable. It has a scratch-resistant sapphire screen and features that just help with extreme temperatures, extreme conditions. I use this during, let's see if we can get the camera. Oh yeah, I use this during the FKT on the Appalachian Trail and Hard Rock and Black Canyon and all of my other training runs. Doesn't look, it's not really focusing right now, but it really doesn't look super worn in my opinion. So it's super durable. The most important feature of the Coros Vertex is the fact that it has this advanced location tracking through mountains, canyons, and a lot of different wilderness situations. I will say that the charging port, let me see if I can get it to focus again. If you can see that. Oh, hold on. There it is. Yeah. See that charging port? So that charging port, Coros definitely needs to come up with a different solution for charging, because during the FKT, the charging port got clogged with like dirt and sweat and everything you can imagine that would happen during an FKT, all the fluids and all the gunk that would get in there. And I think they do come with like a thing that goes in there so you can protect it, but it comes out really easily, and I lost mine within the first couple of days of actually having this watch. So it got clogged, and that made it hard to charge, especially on the FKT. There was some times where it didn't charge fully through the night. It wasn't an issue because it does have 118 hours of GPS mode, but then there was periods of time where it did die. There was only once actually, and it was in the last couple days, and it died completely. But luckily we had an Apex by Coros that I switched into and let this charge. They cleaned out the port. My crew cleaned out the port and they charged it, and it actually charges super quickly, which is also super beneficial for FKTs. So I think it doesn't take a lot of time at all for it to get to 100%. But luckily we did have that backup watch. Otherwise we would be SOL. I think that's the only downside of the Coros the Coros Vertex and all Coros watches. I think they all have the same charging port. But other than that, like, it worked perfectly. Location data, it was so accurate, and that's so important for FKTs. You want a watch that you can rely on, and I really relied on the Coros Vertex. Before I go into my last piece I relied heavily on the FKT on the Appalachian Trail, I wanted to go over some runner-ups. So the first one I'm going to talk about is just the Injinji socks. Toe socks. They're inside out right now, but they're toe socks. This prevents a lot of blisters, a lot of chafe in between the toes. I experience a lot of blisters, and having toe socks really helped with preventing those. I had around 40 pairs of these because Carl Save said in one podcast that he had 40 pairs. So I'm going to have 40 pairs because it worked for him. You want to keep your feet dry and comfy and dirt-free on the Appalachian Trail, especially going for such long hours during the day, all day for 40 days. Ultraspire race waist belt here. So my crew carried a lot of my stuff. Ultraspire just makes this really light race belt that can fit a lot of items. It has one zippered pocket here on the side, so you can put, like, I put my headphones in there, and then I would carry my phone, and my tracker I would carry on my bra. And my crew carried a lot of water, a lot of food for me. And what they did for water is they would just fill up in streams, and they had about, I think they had 2 of these, but they had a 500 milliliter Ultraspire Hydro Pack soft flask, and we just put on a bee-free filter on there, and it connects. So it's lighter weight. Even if you're a thru hiker, this is a good idea, because the 1 liter that it comes with is a little big, a little cumbersome. Not that it matters. This will just save you a little extra weight if all you're using this for is filtering water, but I would just drink straight out of the filter. I also wanted to talk about Leukotape. I don't have any more Leukotape, actually. We are all out. We used so much Leukotape. It's this tape that is very sticky. I would use it for my blisters every single day. I would wake up every morning, Rask would feed me, and I would throw Leukotape all over my feet, all over my blisters. I had 2 holes in my feet that I'd fill up with Neosporin, and then I'd put the tape over it. And Leukotape just stays on so well, and even when I was doing water crossings, it stayed on. The only time it came off is, if my feet were already wet and I took off my socks, it kind of meshed with my toe socks, and it would come off sometimes with the toe sock. But other than that, I wouldn't change anything about that blister prevention method. I also want to talk about salt stick electrolyte caps. There we go. These things are amazing. I had a lot of issues with carb calorie drinks, and so it's just easier to get your carbs and your calories through a drink mix if you're able to, and it also gives you necessary electrolytes as well. But I had a lot of issues with those. We tried probably 4 to 5 products, and it wasn't exclusive to one. It was all of them, and it didn't work for my system. So we just did regular water at a point, and then I would take electrolyte caps. Also, if I was getting tired, I would pop one of these and I would feel better. So these are super handy and very easy to take. They are just like this huge pill. If you can see that, it's not gonna focus. There we go. Now we're going to talk about that last product that I absolutely loved. It is, you're probably not going to be surprised by this, the Ultra Olympuses. These are actually the ones I used on the Appalachian Trail. I had a lot of different pairs of these, but these are just one pair that I used out there. And I don't have enough good things to say about this model of shoe. So this is the Ultra Olympus 6, and in my opinion, it is the best shoe for an Appalachian Trail FKT. Even a thru hike, I think it would be exceptional. You see there's gator traps here. If you do want to use gaiters, I used gaiters a lot out there on the Appalachian Trail. That's another product I didn't mention. I used Dirty Girls out there. Great tread, amazing cushion, pillows. That many miles, that many hours of continuous hiking and running. I mean, it really wears you down, obviously. I remember when we finally received our first pair of Olympuses in Pennsylvania, right before the rocks were starting, right before iconic Pennsylvania rocks. And I had gone through New York and New Jersey and was really struggling. Obviously went through New Hampshire too. And I used Temps and they were okay. And I used the Mont Blancs, which didn't really perform super well. Not every shoe is going to perform super well. I even used the Lone Peaks and felt, there was not enough cushion there. But when we finally got the Olympuses, I was a little apprehensive to get the Olympus because they are the heaviest shoe by Ultra. I was a little apprehensive to get them, but when we got them, when I was in Pennsylvania going over the rocks, it felt amazing. I was so worried going into Pennsylvania that it would slow me down immensely, and with these shoes, once we finally got there, it was perfect. It didn't slow me down. I felt like I was floating over the rocks. In my opinion, the most durable shoe by Ultra. I mean, yeah, they're dirty, but they're in really good shape for all the miles I put on them day to day. Obviously, I switched between pairs of shoes, but I'm really happy with how, durable they are. I mean, the tread still looks pretty great as well. I ended up using these. I loved them so much when I was in Pennsylvania that I ended up using these the entire time. Super, super happy with the Olympus. I know that was a pretty short video, but I thought I would get in here. I have this resemblance of a routine now that I'm getting into now that I moved to Durango. I don't know if a lot of you know that, but I moved to Durango. Right now I'm looking at a mountain from my office window, and I've made this office for myself. I have my treadmill here. As some of you know, I got a golden ticket. If you want to watch the video, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'll post a video up here, but I have my golden ticket over here. I have like some other trail awards right here. I also have like a fun little memorabilia for my Appalachian Trail days to my left. And I have this resemblance of a routine now, and I feel comfortable trying to commit to a more routine upload schedule. I know I was pretty committed to that with the move and with training and just like things not being super consistent in my life. It's been hard to have a consistent upload schedule. So I'm going to, in the next couple weeks, try to commit to an upload schedule, if that's like vlogs or interview style or whatever. Let me know what you guys think. And thank you so much for watching to the end. Listen to the podcast. Let me know what you think. If you like it, please review it. If you don't like it, I don't think there's a review function. If you don't like it. I think there's only one if you like the podcast. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.